Enjoyed night. Another view on this with us here in the studio, Professor Marc Lamont Hill, who teaches American Studies at Temple University. All right, I know I'm going very wrong here.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course. Well, why don't you explain it to me, please?
This is a really sad day for American academic life and American public life. Churchill should not have been fired. This has been about free speech from the beginning. People are saying that this is academic performance, and it's not. A witch hunt began the moment that he made those comments about the 9/11 victims. And regardless of what we think about his comments, he has the right to make them. In fact, he has a responsibility to make them as an academic if he believes them to be true.
If he believes them to be true?
Right, and if he can empirically substantiate them. And I think he's done that.
He has?
Well, let me tell you, I think what you've done...
Wait. No, just got to be real precise here.
Absolutely.
You believe that he's empirically substantiated that innocent Americans murdered on 9/11 were little Eichmanns. You believe that?
Well, you're taking it out of context, and you've done that from the beginning. When you look at his little Eichmann comment, he's explained this. He was referring to Hannah Arendt, one of the great theorists of our time, and what she was saying is that oftentimes the big bad person that you think is this crazy killer is actually an ordinary technocrat, someone in a building who pushes buttons, who does things without any sort of sensibility about how bad they are. And he's saying that many times the people who were in that building may have been advancing an American global financial empire without any thinking about it. And I don't necessarily agree that we should be indifferent to their suffering. I happen to be a little more sympathetic to the victims and their families than Ward Churchill is, but he certainly had a valid point, number one, and number two, he has the right to say it, and we have to defend that.
Okay. Number one, it's not a valid point. People who sell bonds are not little Nazis, even if you hate America, which Churchill does.
He didn't say little Nazis.
Number two, he has a right to say it, but if he says it in the context of him being a ethnic studies teacher and can't back it up. See, I disagree with you. I mean, I think it's an absurd statement. It has no scholastic bearing. No sane person would say that some guy selling bonds in the World Trade Center is a Nazi. No sane person could make that argument. So, number one, he's off balance, off kilter.
But that's not what he said.
Like that. Yes, it is. You just explained it, and you explained it fairly accurately.
Yeah, he also
that
said that
a low-level functionary is
who are good people, who come from good families, who are family people, who don't have bad intentions.
Little Eichmanns. You know what?
Right, not little Nazis, little Eichmanns. That's a difference, Bill.
Well, he said there were little Eichmanns. You know what Eichmann did? You know what he did?
Absolutely, but that's different than calling them Nazis. He added context and texture to this, Bill.
Oh, that's a rationalization.
Bill, this is the no-spin zone, Bill. This is the no-spin zone. Please.
Here's a real specific question.
Yeah.
If a guy at the University of Temple University, where you teach, a teacher, comes on his program and says slavery was morally justifiable in the age that it was in.
Right.
Does he qualify to teach at Temple
Absolutely.
University? Oh, come on.
In fact, the academy is filled with people who look at Charles Murray. There are a whole bunch of people who imply or say those very things. But that does not. I would argue that if you look at books like
what teacher in this country says slavery is morally justifiable?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are people who through their scholarship reinforce notions of white supremacy, of racism, of sexism, of homophobia. Look at Charles Murray. Look at the bell curve. We could go
the bell curve. The bell curve, those guys got in all kinds of trouble for that.
Absolutely. But scholarly trouble, critical trouble, that's what they're supposed to do.
Are they still at Harvard? No.
But they should not be eliminated from Harvard because of that comment.
They were. And so was Summers.
No. They were not fired because of that. And Larry Summers was not dismissed from Harvard at all. Absolutely not.
He was forced to resign.
Yeah, because he got a vote of no confidence from the faculty because he got rid of...
But the board of directors wanted him there. They loved him.
Absolutely. But he was divisive. He got rid of great faculty like Cornel West, like Marcelina Morgan.
He was divisive.
Absolutely.
And Ward Churchill's not divisive.
Yeah, but you're comparing apples and oranges, Bill.
No, they're just saying they're in academics.
No.
One's an administrator, one's a teacher.
Right. And as an administrator, you have a different set of responsibilities than as an academic.
Oh, you can't say your opinion as an administrator?
You absolutely can. But
then why is he out?
But you're held to a different standard of scrutiny and a different set of responsibilities.
Like what?
As an academic, Larry Summers has every right to make those absurd comments that he made about women. No, he wasn't booted for that.
He was booted.
No, not for that.
What was he booted for?
For dividing faculty, for getting rid of people, for shutting down programs, for insulting people,
for insulting who?
Absolutely. Faculty, administrators,
staff.
By
saying that women may not have the same acumen.
There's a whole list of things. There are books like the Harvard Rules that talk about this. Oh, please. But this is
and what about the ACLU?
The ACLU.
They condemn Summers and they stick up for Churchill. But explain that.
They did not call for Summers firing, though. They called for him to rescind the statement. They wanted to challenge him. Not as an academic.
Did they stick up for him when he got booted?
Absolutely not.
No.
He didn't get booted for civil rights or civil liberties violations. He got booted because he was a bad administrator.
For what he said.
No, he got booted because he was a bad administrator.
Professor, before he said that, he was the greatest guy in the world.
Absolutely not.
They loved him.
Absolutely
not. They loved him.
There was a whole contingent of faculty who wanted to get rid of him before that. Look at the African American Studies Department. People like Larry Bobo, Marcelina Morgan, Cornel West. They all left because of him. There are a whole host of people.
That's true.
Absolutely.
But that
so he didn't have unanimous support, Bill.
Very small part.
Absolutely,
because he was saying we have to have more academics. We can't have these courses, that are gut courses. But I can't believe that you say that a guy at Temple University who said slavery was morally justifiable, is going to teach that in his class, as an academic performance at Temple would say, that's what we want. I can't believe that.
It's not about what we want. And we made
it's a performance level. The guy's crazy to say that. Slavery isn't justifiable.
I agree with you,
Never
Bill.
was.
That's right.
You can't have them in a classroom.
And that's what I love about you, that you think that, Bill. But the difference here is that an academic's job is to trade in ideas, to push knowledge and to push the boundaries of knowledge in American society.
It's to be a clear thinker and to make your statement in a clear way, not to be crazy. This guy, Churchill.
But who's the arbiter of what's crazy?
The university, they fired him.
And that's an absolute mistake.
Okay, Doctor, very lively, and we always appreciate you coming in.